Yes. Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can one please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yes. Yeah, can anyone please confirm it? Right. Yes. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Fine. Yeah, in the last class, just I was discussing about the difference between the cloud and on-premises. In the case of on-premises, we need to set up everything by our own, like the installation of OS, hardware infrastructure, database license, database servers like objects, database objects, a separate team. We require separate team for all this: hardware team, operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators. So everything in the, but here in the cloud, no need to do all these things. We have got everything available. So no need of to maintain any infrastructure, no need of any licenses. Here everything in the cloud environment. Yes. So in the last class, just I was discussing about data science, that is data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst. Data engineer for data management, for data storage, and for data processing. And data scientist is going to recommendations for the future, that is strategizes for the future, right? Recommendations for the future. And data analyst is going to summarizes the data of the past and visualizing the data, right? Yes. Now I was discussing about okay, role of Azure data engineer, designing data flow architecture, creating data warehouse for the storage of analytical data, ETL, extracting, transforming, and loading, data monitoring, data security, collaboration and communication with the data scientist, analytics, okay, automation. And I was discussing about Azure Data Engineering products or services. Azure Data Engineering products or services, Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake. See, Azure SQL in a simple way, like it is a cloud or DBMS database. Azure Synapse Analytics for data warehouse. Azure Data Lake, it is a file system, distributed file system for unlimited data storage. Yes, Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks is an Apache Spark-based data analytics platform. Azure Cosmos DB, NoSQL is a NoSQL database in the twin cloud. Azure Streaming, capturing streaming data from multiple sources. Azure Key Vault, protecting data in the cloud. Yes. So in the last class, just I was briefing you about these components, right? Azure Data Lake, here, okay, you will be storing the file systems, but we cannot maintain relationship between the files. So we are expecting or DBMS, the two used for data warehouse, and the two I'm expecting for parallel processing. That is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. Yes, Azure Synapse Analytics for data warehouse operations, for batch operations, for parallel processing. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB, that is Synapse DB. So it is a data warehouse of Azure. Azure Data Factory, right? I was saying yesterday, I was briefing you like it is a cloud-based ETL. It is a cloud-based ETL. It acts as an integration service between the OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. If any transactions happen in the OLTP systems, those transactions you need to bring it and dump it into data warehouse. So it is done by ETL tools. So ETL tools, we have got on-premise ETL tools, but here we have got ADF, cloud-based ETL, right? So here it is ETL, but working style is ELT, extract, load, and transform. And I was discussing about a Databricks. It is Apache Spark-based data analytics platform. It provides a Spark cluster. Databricks provides a Spark cluster. What is Spark? Very high-speed processing execution model for processing huge data. And here Spark is 100 times faster than normal disk processing. So I just was saying that Yahoo has taken a table of 100 TB consisting of 1024 columns. Task was sorting based on 16 columns. Time taken, Oracle MySQL theirs have taken days of time. Teradata has taken hours of time. Hadoop has taken minutes of time. But Spark is 100 times faster than Hadoop. Spark is 100 times faster than Hadoop. Databricks provides Spark cluster, group of nodes which are interconnected. We call it as a cluster. If you've got some 500 nodes cluster for processing 2 TB data at a time, even if your data is increasing, your cluster size also should increase. If you are not increasing the cluster size, the speed goes down. So every time you need to keep on increasing the cluster. It's a complex task. So that's why I require the same cluster in the cloud, that too with auto scaling capability. Auto scaling means whenever the data increases, even that cluster capacity also should increase automatically. Whenever that less data, again it has to revert back to the original size. That is what auto scaling feature. This feature is provided by Azure Databricks. Spark cluster with auto scaling feature and compatible with all the Azure data storage services. In Databricks, who is processing the data? Who is processing the data? Spark. Okay, this is what we discussed currently previous in the test class. Currently, most of the projects, Spark can be implemented in multiple languages. Spark with Scala, Spark with Java, but most of the projects are available in PySpark. Currently, industry is taking currently in the if you talk currently industry is taking two separate developers, right? Yes. One is like for Databricks, separate developer. ADF, Azure Data Factory, ADF, separate developer. But but as a but currently, okay, it is you're taking like a separate developer, ADF separate, Databricks separate developer, but you need to have the knowledge about the both. But today industry, right? Industry is taking two separate developers, but most of the time they are expecting both the knowledge. Who has knowledge on both ADF and Databricks? But initially, if you want to get into the company, like you can go as a ADF developer, Databricks, but more jobs, more calls are for those who has got knowledge on this Databricks along with ADF. Most of you, even yesterday I was asking, like, what is the difference between this ADF developer and Databricks developer? What ADF cannot do, what ADB can do. If you talk ADF and ADB, ADF and ADB, right? Yes. Okay. In ADF, we have data flows. We have data flows. In ADF, we have data flows. We create this data flows. Understand here? We create this data flows. We create this data flows without writing any code. Without writing any code. Just by drag and drop. By drag and drop. And I do some configuration. We create this data flows without writing any code. By drag and drop, I do some configurations. Understand carefully. When data flows are submitted, data flows are submitted, data flows are internally converted. Data flows are internally converted. They're internally converted into Databricks jobs. They're internally converted into Databricks jobs. Here, we no need to write. We no need to write any Databricks code. Here we no need to write any Databricks code. Here we no need to write any Databricks code. Execution is not done by ADF. Understand here? We no need to write any Databricks code. Execution is not done by ADF. Execution is not done by ADF. Execution is done by Databricks. Execution is done by Databricks. You may ask, execution is done by Databricks. Okay. You may ask here, you may get multiple queries here. Okay. You are just you're performing drag and drop. They are converted internally into Databricks jobs. No need to write any Databricks code. When you are not able to write any Databricks code, why again separate developer required for Databricks? Why again separate developer? Why again separate developer required for Databricks then? So execution is not done by ADF. Execution is done by Databricks. But here, any code is not written directly. They are converted into Databricks job and then executed. Why again separate developer for Databricks? So to develop some custom functionalities, we require Databricks developer. We require Databricks developer to develop some custom functionalities. We require Databricks developer. For example, if most of the time if data is structured, ADF data flows cannot transform. ADF data flows cannot transform. If data is unstructured, For example, for example, movie reviews. Movie reviews. First person, first person saying movie is good. Movie is good. So in this way, the reviews are given. First person saying movie is good, second person saying movie is not good. In this way, the reviews are taken. Reviews are taken. Assume 1,000 reviews. Assume 1,000 reviews. How many are good? How many are good? And how many are not good? How many are good? How many are not good? Such kind of analytics. Such kind of analytics. Such kind of analytics we cannot do using ADF. Such kind of analytics we cannot do using ADF. We require special libraries. We require special libraries. And those libraries. Sorry. We require some special libraries, and those libraries we cannot define. We cannot define directly into our data flows. Directly into our data flows. That we cannot directly define into our data flows. At that time, we require Databricks developer. At that time, we require Databricks developer. Sorry. Yes. So at that time we require Databricks developer. Understood now the difference between. So not only that, if you want to work with some graph data, for example, graph data. Even not only that, for example, if you want to work with some kind of graph data, example, Facebook, example, Facebook and the Facebook connections. For example, Facebook and Facebook connection, user and friend. For example, user and friend, user Amar, Ravi is the friend. Ravi is the friend. For Ravi, Amar is the friend, for example, or some Ajay is the friend. Again, for Ajay, Amar is the friend. In this way, user and its friend. Here, data shape. Try to say the data shape here is structured or not. Data shape, is it structured or not? Here, data shape is structured or not? Here, if you see, have a table. I have a table. In that two columns. In that two columns. In the two columns, what are the two columns? User and friend. User and friend. Data is structured. Like data is structured. Here, record to record. Here, record to record. There are some interlinks. There are some interlinks. If you observe here, record to record, there are some interlinks. Understand? Example, Ravi. Ravi is the common friend. Ravi is the common friend for Ajay and Amar. For whom? For Ajay and Amar. For both of them, he is the common friend. What is the relation? What is the relation between, okay, between Rav, okay, what is the relation between Amar and Ajay? Between Amar and Ajay? The relation between Amar, friend of a friend. Such kind of interconnected, such kind of interconnected records are called as graph data. Such kind of interconnected records are called as graph data. Here we see like okay, again in that two types of graphs, two types of graphs, two types of in that one-way graph and two-way graph. One-way graph and two-way graph. For example, a small example I'll show you. Right. For example, you, I and you. What is the relationship you to I? What is the relationship like you to I? Who are you to me? You are a student. One way. It is a one way. And similarly, what is I to you? What I to you? It is a teacher. Teacher. It is also one way. One way. For example, Ravi is there. Ravi is the father. Ravi is the father. Giri is the son. For example, Giri is the son. What is the relationship? Father. Who is Ravi to Giri? Father. It is also one way. It is also one way. What is Giri? What is Giri to Ravi. What is Giri to Ravi? Hmm. Giri to Ravi is a son. It is also one way. It is also one way relationship. For example, check with this. Ajay is there. Ajay and Amul both are friends. I.e. and the friend. Amul to Ajay, what is that? Amul to Ajay is what? Ajay to Amul, okay. Ajay to Amul to Ajay, yeah, also friend. It is also a friend. This is two-way relationship. This is two-way relationship. Two-way relationship. If it means what is that? If we reverse, we need to get the same relation. We need to get the same relation. If we reverse, we need to get the same relation. In this way, we have many interconnections. In this way, we have many interconnections. So if we reverse also, if we get the same relation, that is two-way relationship. That is two-way relation, two-way graph. In this way, we have many interconnections. We have many interconnections. But all these interconnections, but all these interconnections are available in one table. They are available in one table with relationship one way or two way. With relationship one way or two way. With relationship one way or two way. Now I want to process this data. Now I want to process this data. Processing this kind of see. See, in ADF, we cannot perform any kind of querying. Node need. We cannot perform any querying of data. In ADF, we cannot perform querying, but in Databricks, we can perform querying of data is done using Spark SQL. Processing this kind of graph data with SQL queries. With SQL queries is not possible in ADF. So at that time, ADF will not help you. The data flow. At that time, we require Databricks developer. At that time, we require Databricks developer who develops who develops complex logic. Who develops complex logic. There should be some coordination, right? There should be some coordination between this ADF and ADB developer. Okay, there should be some coordination between this. So we require Databricks developer who develops a complex logics. Okay. Understood difference between ADF and ADB. So in ADF, we can do most of the operations, but some complex operations working with some kind of graph data, these things. And if you see in ADF versions and differences, if you see the current ADF version as compared with different previous ADF version, right? Yes. Just check with this. ADF versions and differences. People who wants to go with 4+5+ years of experience means okay with a fresher or 1+2+ it is fine, but people who want to go with 4+5+ need to know about these versions and differences. Two versions, mainly two versions we see: ADF version 1, ADF version 1 and ADF version 2. As compared with ADF version 1, ADF version 2, how much simple and how much flexible, right? ADF version 2, how much is in ADF version 1, you have got lot of prerequisites, but in ADF version 2, there is no prerequisites. ADF version 1, ADF version 1, if I say it is not for ETL, it is used to perform, it is used to perform. It is used to perform EL only. It is used to perform EL only, but not ETL, but not ETL. It's used to perform EL only, but not ETL. Means I mean to say there were no inbuilt transformations. There were no inbuilt transformations. There were no inbuilt transformations. To perform transformations, some additional services required. Some additional services required, such as ADLA, Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure Data Lake Analytics. Here analytics are done. Here analytics are done by USQL, USQL, USQL. Unified Structured Query Language. Unified Structured Query Language. Means it is not equivalent to basic SQL. It is totally different. It is not equivalent. Sorry. It is different. USQL is totally. Secondly, you need to have the knowledge. Previously in ADF version 1, you need to have some prerequisites. Not only you need to have some knowledge on this HD Insights. HD Insights. There's a service, HD Insights service, nothing but Hadoop Insights. Hadoop Insights. Hadoop Insights. Big Data Hadoop Framework. Big Data Hadoop Framework in Azure Cloud. It's called as HD Insights. It's called as HD Insights. Here we have a data flow language. Here we have a data flow language called PIC. Here we have a data flow language called PIC. We have a data flow language called Apache PIC. Using PIC, this data flows are written. This data flows are written and transformations are performed. So using PIC, this data flows are written, transformations are performed. And thirdly, to perform transformations in ADF version 1 HT Insights or USQL, that is Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure Functions, Azure Functions, Azure Functions are very complex to implement, are very complex to implement. Azure Databricks, stored procedures, Azure Databricks, stored procedures. So yes, to perform transformations. So in the previous area version 1, to perform transformations, first you should be a developer. First you should be a developer. That too should be expert in scripting, should be expert in scripting. It is in USQL, USQL script. Secondly, like Pig script, Pig scripts, Azure functions, Azure functions, and also like Azure Databricks, stored procedures. Generally, to have this knowledge about this, you should be like Pig scripts, like Hadoop developer, by Hadoop developer. Azure, okay, Azure Databricks by Spark developer. Stored procedures by SQL developer. In this way, you need to have a lot of knowledge about this, right? In previous area version 1, there were prerequisites like need to have like Hadoop, like Spark, like SQL developer. You need to have prerequisites, right? We have got a lot of prerequisites. This is the problem with ADF version 1. ADF version 1. Afterwards, Microsoft recognized. Microsoft recognized. Afterwards, Microsoft recognized this problem and decided to make ETL tool with zero coding. with zero coding. Recognized this problem and decided to make a ETL tool with zero coding. That's why they launched a new version. They launched a new version, ADF version 2, ADF version 2. So this ADF version 2, ADF version 2 is a zero coding ETL. It is a zero coding ETL, but style is ELT. Previously, Informatica. Your knowledge on this Informatica. 80% drag and drop. 80% drag and drop. 80%, 20% writing SQL scripts. Writing SQL scripts. But in ADF, 100% drag and drop. No need to write any SQL scripts also. 100% drag and drop. Okay. So this is about that ADF version 1 and version 2. What are the features of ADF version 2 means? ADF version 2. Sorry. We got a new feature in ADF version 2. In ADF version 1, it doesn't have this concept of data flows. Data flows concept was not there in ADF version 1. It was introduced in ADF version 2. Data flows concept. In this data flows, we got inbuilt transformations. Many inbuilt transformations you got where you can work with the things. Previously in ADF version 1, it wasn't there. ADF data flows were introduced in ADF version 2. And apart from this, Power Query also. Power Query was also introduced. In ADF version 1, it wasn't there. In ADF version 2. This Power Query, which will have in Power BI, in the same way here, we got Power Query. Okay. These are the new features we have got in ADF version 2. And because of this data flows, you don't need to write any code. And in ADF version 2, there is no prerequisites. Everybody can work with that. No prerequisites, no coding, zero coding. As I said, as a developer, we develop data flows. When you run the data flows are internally converted into Databricks job, and these jobs are executed by this Spark cluster. You don't need to write any Spark code here. Okay, fine. This is something about this area of versions and differences. And previously, just we have seen. And this is something about this graph. Working with the graph data, you cannot, this ADF cannot handle this graph data, so we'll take the help of Databricks. ADF, okay. There's something about Databricks, auto scaling feature. Auto scaling feature, whenever data is increasing, it is auto scales and also reverts back to its original. And this is about ADF. It is an integration service between this OLTP and data warehouse services. It can connect to any cloud, non-cloud, and NoSQL databases. Its working style is ELT. Azure Synapse for data warehouse operations. And data lake, it's a distributed file system for storing files, right? And Azure SQL for cloud or DBMS, right? You can check with this course content. Yes. So tomorrow the link will be changing. You are supposed to get enrolled for getting the link, right? And tomorrow a WhatsApp group will be created. You will be added to the WhatsApp group. From tomorrow, you will be getting the videos to your Google Drive, and you will be getting the notes to your mail. So we can check with this ADF Azure Data Factory, the building blocks of ADF, pipelines, linker service, data sets for all these different file formats, activities, transformations, triggers, scheduling, integration runtime, source control, data flows, ADF exercises, around 50 exercises we'll be discussing. And when we go with the Databricks, we'll also get knowledge on this big data, Hadoop, Spark, cloud computing, and also like cluster management, displaying cluster, starting cluster, terminating cluster, Databricks utilities, Databricks integration with different storages, handling multiple file formats, batch processing, historical data load, incremental data load, streaming API, and Databricks Lakehouse platform working workflows in Databricks, and Azure Synapse in brief. It's a single stop solution for all this Azure Synapse. So as I said, you'll be getting along with this ADF Databricks, along with ADF Databricks, right? And Synapse Analytics once again. We also discussed about what Azure streaming is nothing but capturing and processing high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously. Azure Cosmos DB, it's a NoSQL database. Azure Key Vault, secure key management to protect the data in the cloud. Right. So these four will be discussing in brief. Azure Data Factory, Databricks, PySpark in brief will be discussed, and Azure Synapse Analytics. Apart from this, you will also get knowledge on this Azure SQL, Azure Data Lakes, and Azure Streaming offerings from my side. Live session recorded videos, session recorded, each and every session recorded videos you'll be getting that day itself. Clear soft copy of these notes, assignments and tasks to work, a WhatsApp group for technical discussions, interview questions and resumes, live interactive hands-on sessions where if you want to do the task along with me parallelly, you can do it. Along with this, the DurgaSoft is also offering some 8,000 worth of videos access, like Python videos, 100, like around in brief about the Python videos, MySQL videos, and Unix Linux shell scripting videos, around 120 videos. This also around 120 videos on this Python. And this MySQL around 35 videos. Okay, fine. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll be starting with the actual things. So get enrolled for getting this link, paid link to your mail. So you can see in the chart, in the Zoom chart, right? A big message is given by this online team. Previously, if you missed any session, the session video link is given. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm suffering with throat pain. So, okay, the content, course content details are given. The course content details are given. If you got any concerns, like their contact details are provided. And also, like the payment details are provided. The payment details, you can see one note they have given. If you're done with that payment process, right, don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to that mail ID that is provided. Durgasoft online training at gmail.com. And then also they provided the phone pay, Google Pay details. Yes. Yes, Sai Chaitanya, right? Recorded videos available after enrolling. See, you'll be getting each and every session recorded videos, and that access will be for 8 months. You'll be getting the access, okay, for 8 months. Yes. Any other queries, anyone? Each and everything step by step we'll be discussing, everything you'll be understanding. Whatever it is, if you're from non-programming background, whatever it is, we'll be spending 3 months time for this. Where we'll be discussing about this data engineer entire package like ADF, Databricks, Synapse Analytics, PySpark, especially PySpark. If you see, as PySpark has got great demand today. So if you add some weightage to your resume, PySpark will add some weightage to your resume, right? Yes. If you see, even if you have knowledge on this PySpark, you can also demand, right, for the salary packages. Even the salary packages of this data engineers, if you observe, Azure data engineers 1.5 times more than the other technologies. You can just check it. And also the jobs, for this we have got a lot of jobs. And this data engineers, the salary package is as close as to data scientists. So I said, according, even if you see, a lot of companies are migrating towards this Azure, and companies are utilizing Azure cloud services, they in turn increasing the job opportunities for this Azure data engineers constantly, and companies keep trusting and keep adopting to Azure. Yes, regularly they are in need of professionals who can work on Azure, and they handle huge data. And data engineers has got, as I was saying, data engineers has got the highest average salaries as closely as data scientists. The two highest paying jobs like data engineers and data scientists. So pursuing a career in this data engineer will never let you down. So even people, this is the right time to shift to this data engineering or data science side. So if we see from the last 2 years, most of the jobs available for these two, and even if you see a lot of companies, they are interested in hiring data engineers with the great salary packages, and also they are offering high paying jobs to data engineers. In the same way, you need to have that command in that subject, technicals, right? Yes. Any other queries you got, anyone, right? There will be the recordings available, means with whatever mail you are following, so sharing with Durgasoft, to that mail, to that Google Drive, we can see that daily. Yes, there is a good job market for this Azure, for data engineering, right? Not only this Azure data engineering, or even the other data engineering, other clouds also. So as totally moving to the cloud environment, they require a lot of professionals, in need of professionals who can handle this huge data. So as compared with other training sites, here I'll be discussing in brief about this PySpark, not overview about this, but in brief about PySpark I'll be discussing. And also you can do hands-on, right? Even the tasks what we do, right? You can do hands-on parallel along with me. Yes, you will be getting this free access to the Python videos, MySQL, and this, where if it doesn't have knowledge, you can go through those. Anyhow, I'll be providing this the syntaxes of this Python before I go with the practicals of this Databricks. You'll be getting around 25 days to 30 days time to update with the things, where we go with the first. I'll be going with Azure Data Factory, right? Any other queries you got, anyone, right? Okay. So if I'm done with the queries, if there are no other queries, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 10 o'clock, but with a different link, right? Yes. Yeah, exercises for practices. Yes, Pooja. You can see some assignments and tasks will be given. Then only you can have some comment on this, right? Fine. Okay, fine. Azure account access, step by step, I'll be showing you how we can get access to that Azure free subscription, how to get the free subscription step by step. I'll be showing you where you can do the things parallelly along with me, right? Yes, you can get the account access to Azure, and I'll be just briefing you what to do, what you not to do, right? When you perform. How much coding knowledge is needed for this side check? See, basic Python knowledge, not that entire Python is not required. Basic Python knowledge, right? Basics of Python. That anyhow I'll be showing you during the practical part. But still, if you want to know something free, that you can just check with it. For Python basics means, for example, variables, data types, collections, list, tuples, sets, dictionaries, functions, modules. This is enough. Functions, modules, and this collections, and this loops, and flow control statements and loops. That is enough. No need of all this. So basics of Python. Okay, fine. Any other queries you got? Anyone? Right. All the sessions will be interactive sessions. For each and everything, the people will be responding. If any query asked, you will be responding. You will be kept in unmuted status. At any point, you can ask the query. At the start of the session, if you got any queries related to the previous topic, you can ask your queries. During the sessions, at any point, immediately you can ask. Even we have got a WhatsApp group for discussion with the queries. Right. Okay. Fine. Okay. So if I'm done with the queries, if no other queries, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time, right? The different link. Okay. So get enrolled for getting these videos, notes, a link, and getting added to the WhatsApp group, right? Yes. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. Bye.